Hi Kelly, I'm here to make your makeup video. Try not to talk too much because you know how I do, and I don't want this to be forever long for you, but you might want to set up your compact the way I usually like to do it, and you can do it however you want, but I would put the lightest color of your highlights, which is amber, that's for the color correcting, your bridge color, which is your hazel, right next to that, and then I would do your Bella bronzer next to that, so lightest to darkest, and then your lip and cheek color nude on the end. That'll make it easy for you to tap in from the side on the nude, because when you're tapping around, it's okay to mix the colors and blend them that way too. You might even certain times of year choose to adjust the intensity of the pigment you're putting on the face. Like you might tap between your hazel and your amber, even though you're just using your amber for like your dark circle area. So that might be a good way to set it up. And you can also, you can mix your bronzer in if you like to do that, make it a little bit darker. Also, I want to remind you, all of these colors, because they're so highly pigmented, have coverage. So if you're having a day where you want to brighten up, pump up your skin a little bit, but you're not looking to do the whole face as quick as that can be, you could just put your Bella bronzer on. If you do get another, I didn't bring it. If you do get another brush, if you decide to invest in any other brushes, I'd recommend the Blush and Bronzer brush. It's got two fluffy, loosely packed sides. And where we talked about stippling the pigment on your face, the Blush and Bronzer brush is designed to sort of buff, swirl. And so it's a nice way to put just a really light amount of makeup on, or to blend out makeup if you feel like you get a little too much. Another way you can do that, I'm sorry I'm ill-equipped this morning, but I think I might have left my makeup sponge at work. You can get just those little disposable makeup wedge sponge, or you can get like a, beauty blender, they call them, like the teardrop drop shape blender sponges. You can kind of roll over, tap, stipple. You can put your makeup on and blend it out with that if you prefer. If you're like a sponge girl, you'd want to like wet it down and wring it out to where it's hardly wet at all. And then that will, move stuff around. But I mostly use it just to, like, if I get a little heavy-handed, I can just sort of roll it over it and it lifts the excess makeup off. But you really can do the same thing with this. It's just, because you're applying more pigment, you might have to work at tapping it out and around a little bit longer. But that's why I said less is more with this makeup. If you want heavier coverage, you can do it. But if you're a natural makeup girl, you want to take your time and just make sure that you're working the product around that you're putting on your face as opposed to just putting more makeup on. And that's what's going to give you that seamless, dewy second skin finish. You've got your brush cleaner. I wanted to mention you don't have to clean your brush after every time. That's not necessary. And you can use any kind of a cloth, literally paper towel, your sweatshirt. You just want to spritz a little on the brush and buff it around, or you can spritz a little on the cloth and buff it into the cloth. But after a while, as the makeup will start to build up, you'll notice that it won't spread the makeup around quite as good. It just won't look as good. So if you feel like you've got a decent build-up, go ahead and use your brush cleaner. And like I said, that'll clean and sanitize your brush, and it'll be dry and ready for immediate use. So if you wake up and you realize it needs to be cleaned, you can go ahead and clean it and then still turn around and use it. And it smells like, I don't know if you smelled it yet, but it smells like, I don't know, white chocolate cupcakes or something. It's wonderful. Okay, so I just wanted to show you a little bit of an option of what you would have to do. When I did your makeup, I stippled it on. I just dabbed it in my color and stippled it on. Also used my finger. You're going to probably like that a lot. So for you, you're going to take your amber. I'm using my own color on me because this works better on me. But take your amber, which should be on the far end of your palette. Just tap your finger in it a little bit and then just touch it into those dark areas. You can put it all over the eye, the orbital eye socket. You can do that to kind of give you a brightened appearance and give you some coverage. If you're just in a hurry and you literally don't want to do anything but just put a little bit on your dark circles right there, that's just going to brighten your eye area, make you look more awake and all that good stuff. So I like to use my fingers for that. Hey, honey,
Yeah.
Just so you know, I'm making a video for Kelly. You can come in though. You can say hi if you want to, but I'm making a video for Kelly. Normally I don't do that, but it's you, so he's okay. Okay, so I wanted to show you.
Hello.
I wanted to show you that you could also do the cheetah hack method. Cheetah hack stands for highlight and contour. We're not going to focus as much on contour for you, although you'll definitely get a tonal sculpting with using your Bella bronzer. But we didn't really opt in for like the contouring at this point anyway. So I wanted to show you could take your finger and dab it into your bridge color. So I'm going to do that with my bridge color, but for this you're going to be using your hazel, right? I'm just going to do it on one side of my face so you can see. And I'm going to put it just in areas where I need a little bit of coverage, where I want to blend out any areas of my face that look like they just need a little help. Well, I was just going to do it on this side, and then I lied. Okay, right there. I'm not putting it all over my face because I'm going to put blush here, and I'm going to put bronzer here. So if you want to do it all over your face, you can. But if you're going to be using all the colors, you can see that, there's not really a need to do double duty unless you want to just put a light coat over everything and then go over everything else with a light coat and hit your blush at the end. That's totally fine. But I'm just showing you for purposes of demonstration that you don't need a lot and you don't need to like double up on the pigment. So I just did, in through here and here pretty much. I've got my amber here. It'll be your amber. Missed a spot here. It's hard to do it in your phone camera because you can't see really well. Plus I'm blind without my glasses. Okay, so then you're going to go in with like your Bella bronzer. So if you wanted to do the cheetah hack method on this, you could as well. So I'm going to use the bronzer I use, and I'm going to go up and around the edges of my face. And it's going to look scary and dark and weird, but it's cream, so it warms to your skin, and you can blend it right out and make it look really soft and subtle. So I'm going to do that there. I might do a little bit just right here, the side of my nose. And, it's just really preference. It's like wherever you like to put it. I kind of use mine almost like a contour, but you could do it here. You could do it here. You could do it wherever you want. And then I'm going to take a blush. I don't know what I'm wearing today, so I'll just pick a random one. This is Madrid. It's pretty. I'm going to do that here and here. So you can see it kind of looks like little cheetah dots. And then just to show you, you can take your brush, and I like to start with the lighter areas first and sort of start to blend those out. And I'm just tapping or stippling, you might want to say. And then I'm going to go back up into the areas where the bronzer is. And I'm still stippling. I'm kind of pulling that up a little bit into my hairline. Make it blend good. This is a different color bronzer than the one I prescribed for you, so it's going to look warmer because my skin tone needs warmer, but yours won't look quite that. Yours will be a little bit more neutral of a brown. And I'm bringing it down, even though I put the other colors here, I'm blending it down. You want to bring it to where everything blends seamlessly. So it just takes, a minute to tap that out. If you get like where you think it's too dark and it's too much of a line and it's not tapping, you can, then you can use your brush to like swish it back and forth and just sort of soften it. That'll lift some of the excess off, okay? Pull it down into where I did here. A lot of times I just leave mine looking like contour, but, for you with your color skin, I would think you'd want a little bit of a bronzy glow all over. So you can do that. You just work at stippling that down, and you can put more bronzer on. You can put it wherever you want. You can put it all up and through here. And then I usually leave my blush for last. And don't forget, you can mix your bronzer and your blush together. Even when you're putting the dots on, you could, do blush, bronzer, blush. If you're stippling, you can tap into both of them, and it will. With the nude color, you probably don't really need to do that because it's so neutral. But like if you ever decide to get like a little bit of a warmer, brighter blush, they're all pigmented, so they look super, super bright in the tin. But when you put them on, they totally diffuse out. Other thing I really want to tell you about is when you're using this technique of stippling, what's happening when you're doing that is blood is rushing to the surface of the skin. So when you're putting, as you're spreading it out, especially with your blush, it's going to look dark because what happens is that blood flushes your skin naturally. So give yourself a little bit of time there. Go ahead, blend it out, but don't try to make it look like, go ahead and let it be a little bit darker than what your eye likes to see. Because I guarantee like 1 minute later, as the blood recedes from your skin, then it starts looking way less intense and way more natural. Okay, so just a little side note. It will look darker until you leave the skin alone for a minute and then it calms down. So pretty natural. You can put that amber up over your eyelids. You can put a little bit up here on your brow bone if you want to, just to sort of brighten it up a little bit. You can also use this. So for you, I notice you have a little bit of redness around your nose. So you can go in like around your nose. With this side is real handy to use that for that. If you don't really like the finger thing and you want a lighter application, you can go in with the smaller side of your detail brush for, brushing over the eyelid area. I hope you're being able to see a difference in this. I was trying to do this in natural light, but it's kind of shaded over here this morning. So this little brush can be helpful. Also, if you want to brighten certain areas, the lightest color you have is your amber. So you could go in through here and make like a little, I call it like a chicken foot. Just like, and then tap that out. You can draw a line down the bridge of your nose to brighten. See how the nose just sort of gets a little bit more of a 3D dimensional thing. I know I always have like scars and stuff here from where I get cold sore, so I usually use a lighter color right over the top of my lip to brighten. I guess you're just gonna have to take my word for it because I don't think you can see it very good here. Maybe just the tip of your chin. That's where you start getting that 3D effect. Can you kind of see how that's happening? You can even, with your lighter color, go over out on the upper outside edge of your cheekbone. And definitely, I like to go here and flick it up. So these are all just little extra little bonus tips. Not something you have to do, but it just sort of lifts your eye area. You don't wear a lot of eyeshadow, it doesn't sound like, so you won't really need that as much. A lot of times, like when I do eyeshadow, I'm, putting it in my crease, and when I drop my eyes, you see how this falls there. It's like 50s life. So it ends up looking dark there. So I'll take like my lightest color and do that, and it sort of carves it back out, but you may not have to worry about that. Okay, so then the way I showed you, of course, is the more traditional way of just tapping in your color, tapping it on. And if you decide you want a brighter color to highlight more with, to do that 3D effect where you brighten certain areas of your face, I can recommend a color for you, but the amber is light enough, you're going to get a little bit of a brightening effect. Just nothing drastic, which is fine. Most people don't want drastic anyways. So, on the jawline, right in there. Did that. Again, I'm just avoiding certain areas because I know I'm going to put other colors on it. So I'm going to go in with my bronzer. Tap, tap, tap. Stipple, stipple, stipple. Pull it up into the hairline. Oops. Forgot which one I was pressing in. Oh, and I had you get the RO5 because the RO3 was a little bit too light. They didn't have an RO4. I'm hoping that works. I kind of got stressed after. I was like, oh, what if that's too dark? But let me show you the technique you're going to use with that. I'll just put my blush on here really quick first. I just really like to do that with my fingers, honestly. So. I like to pull my lip and cheek color up over my nose a little bit. See how it looks pretty intense? Give that a minute and you'll be surprised like how much less bright that looks. when we're done. Okay. Also, don't forget, they call them lip and cheeks for a reason. You can use your cheek color. You can use it on the eyes, like you had mentioned, and then you can also use it as a lip stain. It won't stay on all day. It's not like one of those 24-hour things, but it'll, the cream will smooth your lips out and give you a little bit of pigment there. I usually like to use whatever I have a lip conditioning balm that I use on it first, and then I put it over. I like that feeling to it, but you don't have to. Okay, so we got that there. All right, and I just wanted to show you, shoot, I didn't get. You need a small brush for where you're going to work on your melasma spot. I have one here, which I put makeup on it. I'm just going to demonstrate with my fingers because I didn't bring it. You need a small brush that kind of is sharp on the edge. It can be pointed, it can be curved, it can be squared off, but it needs to be smaller. I've never done it with my fingers, although I guess you could, but this stuff's pretty intense. So but the idea is, though, where your spot is, you're going to tap that on there. You don't want to rub it in like a blush. You literally want the pigment to sit on top of the spot. Now with R05, it's going to look coral colored on there. I should have showed you that first. So you do that first. You put that on there and let it sit. And then when you're applying your makeup, you're going to pick up your color. And you're going to be really careful. I told you to tap and stipple. You're going to be really careful over that spot because you don't want to move that pigment around. You want it to sit right on that spot. You can see now where mine just sort of disappeared. Okay, but then you'll go in over top of that and you just very carefully, intentionally tap over top of it with your color. So that pigmented part, the R05, should be covered by your makeup. But because the pinky undertones in it is camouflaging or neutralizing the mulchy green tone of melasma, it pretty much fades it. Sometimes you can get it to disappear altogether. What I'm thinking, though, is if it's too dark, if you're having issues with it and it's not it's not getting it done, I'm going to make an order of makeup before the end of the month, and I'm going to order one of the R03s that I used on you because it worked decent. It just didn't cover it all the way, and I'll just send you one in the mail, and that way you may have to take a little brush and dab between the two to get it just the right. With color correction, you have to have the right level of pigment to cover the level of darkness that you have. So if it's too light, it won't cover. If it's too dark, it will look like a color on your face. You want it to get to where the color matches the level of discoloration and it neutralizes it. So that's the theory there. So I don't know. I can't see very well because I don't have my glasses on and it's not great lighting here. But that is the story, Morning Glory. You just stipple tap. And remember, if you don't want to do whole face, you can always just go in with your bronzer, Bella. And, you could give yourself just like a 3/4 worth of makeup just by adding a little color in there. You could always just use your blush if you just need to add a little color to your cheeks and you're not doing anything where you're going to be feeling like you need to be made up. Also, that's hot tip. With your bronzer, you can go underneath your jawline, and that is going to help with that 3D effect also because it's going to carve out your jaw, which is, I don't know if you're getting that, but I'm starting to get that little pocket there. And then don't be afraid to pull that on your little waddle area there. Not that you have a waddle. I have a waddle, so I'm talking about me. And then, you can drag, you don't have to stipple on your neck. You can just drag some down. That is another thing that the blush and bronzer brush is really good for because it's big. So you just get a small amount of pigment and you can literally just buff it on. Yeah, good to go. All right, so that's the face. You can kind of see now the blush doesn't look so at me. After it dies down, I didn't do my highlights on that side. That looks kind of unbalanced, but I hope that you're having fun with this makeup. Give yourself, a couple weeks of using it just to where it becomes like second nature and you get muscle memory. That just starts to happen. You just tap, tap, and it's really fast. But Feel your face. It shouldn't feel too sticky or anything like that. It shouldn't really feel sticky at all. Like, you're going to obviously feel like you have a little something on there, but you shouldn't get like transfer onto your hands, and it shouldn't feel tacky. Yeah, you don't have anything that's gloss. Like, some of the blushes have more of a semi-gloss to it, and those feel a little stickier, but you didn't order one like that, so it should be fine. If it's too much, I mean, you could even just take a paper towel if you feel like you got a little heavy, and you could literally just press. Like, don't wipe, because you want the colors to stay where you put them on the face. You don't want them to transfer. But you could literally just go in anywhere where you feel like you got too much and press, even with a paper towel. And, like, I didn't get too much, so I've got nothing on there. But I'm trying to think if I gave you all the tips and tricks. Anyways, I'm here if you have any questions, and I can respond and show you anything you need on Marco Polo. I actually have a SEINT Marco Polo SEINT, like a little thread where I do demos on it. I'll pull that up. I haven't pulled that up in a while. And I'll see if I can send it to you. And that way there's some videos on there that talks about some different things too, if you have time and you want to. So I think that covers it. But I love you, sweet friend. And I hope you like this makeup. If you don't, no harm, no foul. Send it back. You have 30 days. If you do not like it, send it back. And if you do love it, let me know. And if there's, any other products that I think could enhance your experience, I can tell you what I think those would be, or colors even. Colors and tools that might enhance your experience. But what you got will, you're pretty set to do what I think you probably normally enjoy doing on a day-to-day basis. So did you get the illuminator? I don't think you got the illuminator. Right. So it was the 2 colors, the blush and the bronzer. Okay, and then you got the little corrective color, which let me know if that is working at all, and if it's not, I will make it right for you. Okay? All right.